up here to do a special drum performance in recognition of the upcoming 2018 Olympic Winter Games taking place in Pyeongchang, South Korea. If I could please have your attention. At this time, we would like to welcome Ariane Loignon, who competed in 5 events at the 1988 Olympics here in Calgary. Please welcome Ariane. Winning the bronze medal with a time of 1:56:43, Ivany Blondin. Winning the silver medal with a time of 1:55:94, Callie Christ. And winning the gold medal with a time of 1:55:88, Brianne Tutt. And now a quick interview with our winner, Brianne Tutt. Congratulations, Brianne.
Thank you.
You had a great race today. How does it feel to be Canadian champion?
It feels good. I haven't been Canadian champion yet in any distance, so I'm happy I was able to perform today.
And now you've provisionally been qualified for the Olympic team in your second distance. How do you feel?
I'm excited. I'm excited to get my 2 distances completed and have done enough to hopefully qualify for the team. And I can't wait till it's announced pretty soon and then go to Korea.
The announcement will happen next week, Wednesday, January 10th at noon at the Jack Singer Concert Hall. So please come and join us. Congratulations, Brianne.
Started for the men is Carl Hawk from Ontario. Referee Travis Boyd from Manitoba. Assistant umpire from Colorado. County Slug from Avalon. From Ryan. 1,500 meter, 3 3/4 miles. 400-meter oval. Starting on the far side, there will be a picture of St. Blossom, who's just added at the World Cup to Hall of Fame at the Oval. Tomorrow's a day off for these athletes. Monday evening at 5 will be 1,000 meters, Canadian championships. Tuesday will be 5,000 meter ladies and the 10,000 meter men's races.
Welcome back to the Calgary Olympic Oval. The final 10 races of the evening. The men's 1,500 meters will bring Leo Landry back in. Leo, an interesting prospect as always with these races. You see guys like Ted Jan Blumen, but then there are guys like Denny Morrison as well. Different strategies with a 1,500.
Absolutely. 1,500 meter, a crossover distance between those sprint races and those long distance races. You'll see some long distance skaters race the 1,500 meter with every lap being nearly even in terms of speed. That's a rare thing in the 1,500. Usually the goal is to go all out and hang on for dear life by the end of the race. As you watch these races, keep an eye on the lap times. The skaters will aim to keep their drop-off between each lap under 1.5 seconds per lap. Sprinters may drop off a bit more, but they're going to start quicker. Long-distance skaters will keep their lap times within a more reasonable range.
We hear the whistle. Sounds like we're ready to go. The first pair is just one skater, Stefan Waples, 30 years old, out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Comes in with a personal best time of 1:46.48 in the distance. He did that back in 2014.
Stefan Waples, a veteran of the Canadian team. Skated at a number of World Cups. This is likely his swan song. Most likely going to retire at the end of this season.
Waples gets away cleanly. His season best time is a 1:50.84. He did that back in September of last year. Now, Leo, I've asked you this a few times about what it's like to skate by yourself in a sprint versus a long distance. But in this race where you say the pain is the worst, what's it like to skate by yourself here?
It's a tough proposition for a skater like Stefan Waples here to race this long 3 3/4 lap race all on his own. It can be an advantage sometimes to race on your own in the first pair. You have no expectations, no times to beat. You just go out there and lay it on the ice and then let the chips fall where they may. But that extra little bit of motivation in the last lap when there's someone beside you racing to the line is irreplaceable.
His first split time after 300 meters was 25.34. His first full lap time, 27.85 through 700 meters on that lap. Now Waples will set the fastest time. Now he's been going with his both arms behind the back, and he goes right back to that, Leo.
Stefan has a weird strategy here in the 1,500 meter. You don't see many skaters keep both arms on the back. Typically, skaters will swing one arm in order to keep their momentum moving forward, but
here comes the bell. 1 lap to go. The lap time there, 28.98 with 400 meters left to go.
Obviously, he deems that it helps him save his energy and stay relaxed. So even in this last lap, he's keeping both arms on the back.
There's the expression on his face, a little pain creeping in there in my mind. Gets one arm going. He comes down the final stretch as the first skater. He will set the fastest time, the first of 10 pairs to come. He gets one arm going inside 50 meters to go. Waples to the line, 1:52.31. A little bit off his season best time.
He'll have hoped for a better race there. But at least now we have a time to beat up on the board. Gets high fives from the coaches, though. 1,500 meters, such a tough race. Even if he wasn't on a good one, he duked it out right to the end. Left nothing out there. That's what you want to see.
A couple younger skaters coming up now. Guillaume Labbé, 20 years old. Robert Winter, 23, from Team Alberta. Labbé from Quebec.
Both skaters racing in their first team selections competition. These only happen every 4 years.
Looking at their personal best, they both have personal and season best within the last few months that are 0.03 of a second apart from each other. So looking like this one could, if they're both on form, go right down to the wire. 3 3/4 laps.
Absolutely. These guys chasing a big barrier, the 150 mark.
Getting away cleanly. Labbé using that down start, despite this really not being a sprint and it being more common with the sprinters.
Absolutely. The down start, a relatively new invention. American speed skaters started using it in the early 2000s. The idea is to imitate a track start, so have the body position sitting lower and more tilted forward right off the line.
There's the first time check, 300 meters for Winter, 23.67, 24.81 for Labbé, both of them going under Waple's time so far.
Any opening split under 24 seconds is very quick. You'll only see the top level sprinters achieve that time, so Robert Winter opening fast. Let's see if he can hang on through the rest of the race.
Trying to maintain his speed. Winter maintaining his lead into the 700-meter mark. Lap time 26.71 and a 27.2 for Labbé, so Winter pulling it out a little bit more there.
So far, Rob Winter right on pace to break that 150 barrier. Skaters cross over on the backstretch. They change lanes every lap.
Down comes Winter. Looks like he's tiring a little bit. The gap is coming down from just my vantage point here. Winter will get the bell. 29.25 the lap time, 28.8 for Labbé. So he is in fact closing in, and it's going to be a close crossover here.
The skater on the outer lane has the right of way, so Robert Winter negotiating that safely, slipping in front of Guillaume Labbé.
Winter went out hard. He still has the fastest time right now. Let's see what he can do inside the final 100 meters. Down the stretch he comes. Winter, Labbé both dropping both arms, trying to get every inch of every hundredth of a second they can. The time at the line, 151.15 for Winter, 151.88 for Labbé. They move top two at the moment.
It's a great race from Guillaume Labbé. He closed ground on Robert Winter the entire time, just didn't have enough ice left over at the end to catch him.
There are the standings after the first three skaters. 2 pairs done, 8 more to go. Now you mentioned how some of the sprinters who do this, they have to go out quick and just try not to die too hard. And then you'll see a guy like Ted-Jan Blumen, and he's probably going to be doing the opposite.
Absolutely. Ted-Jan Blumen will go out fast, but wouldn't expect his lap times to drop off too much. Ted-Jan Blumen, the current world record holder in the 5,000 and 10,000 meter, 1,500 meters. It's just peanuts to him.
He's coming up in a few pairs. Now we have Antoine Roger, 21 years old, out of Quebec. Rob Watson, 27, out of Whitby, Ontario. Roger, we've seen a little bit in Canada Cups in the mornings. Here he is in the Canadian Single Distance Championships in the 1,500.
What an opportunity this is to make his mark on the national stage.
Roger put up a personal best time in October, 150.62. Watson's was back in 2016, where he put up a 147.73.
Uh-oh, it looked like Rob Watson kicked a cone heading into that corner. Skaters are required to stay within their lanes, and the cones and blocks are located inside of the line, so if the skate touches it, it's not a good sign. The referees will review it.
They go down the back stretch. They're still just going to race and worry about that later. They've done 300 meters, 24.17 for Roger. Watson, 24.46 as they come up to complete their first full lap of the oval with 2 left to go. It's very even, 26.74 the lap time, 26.54 for Watson.
Watch the next lap times. These skaters will look to keep the next lap under 28 seconds. Rob Watson, a mass start specialist. He has raced for Canada at World Cups in that event in the past few years.
Looks like another very even lap between the two, in unison just about on the strides. Let's check that out. 28.34 for Watson, 28.48 for Roger, just a few hundredths separating them.
And they're ahead of Robert Winter through this portion of the race, and Robert Winter faded a lot in the last lap, so let's see if we will have 2 new names at the top of the leaderboard as they're in the last corner.
Just about quarter of a second that had them ahead of Winter with 1 lap to go. They come down to the line. It's again still close. Roger, Watson, who's going to take it at the line? It is looking like it is Roger with a 150.36, Watson 155.9. top two times at the moment, but as Leo, you mentioned, there was one of those markers that might have been kicked, so we'll see how that one pans out in the end.
Absolutely. Rob Watson will have to wait for the final results, see if the referees had anything to say about that. But Antoine Roger at the top of the leaderboard, I'm sure he was hoping to go sub 150. Nonetheless, it was a personal best, so good race for him. After three pairs, it's Roger, Watson, and Winter.
Well, these are all a lot of the mostly the younger skaters who are working their way up. Pair number 4 coming in is Hayden Meilleur and Connor Howe from Ontario. Meilleur, I said it with a French accent. It's Hayden Meilleur from Ontario, Connor Howe from Alberta up next.
Hayden Meilleur coming off a big personal best in the 3,000 meter last week. Skated a personal best in his 5,000 meter race earlier at this Canadian Single Distance Championships. He'll be looking for another one here.
Meilleur, who is just 20 years old. Watson, a little bit more experienced. He is 27. And Meilleur has a best lap time of 1:50.52, just set late last month, a couple days before Christmas. First split times, 23.8 for Connor Howe. Hayden Meilleur, 24.8.
World-class opener there from Connor Howe, sub 24 seconds. So that puts him in a good position with 3 laps to go. Now the challenge to carry his speed.
Howe still in front, using that inner lane to his advantage as they come up to the line to get the first full lap time check. 26.36 that lap time, 26.65 for Meilleur. So Connor Howe has the fastest time at the moment, 75 hundredths of a second ahead of Antoine Roger at this point.
He is currently on pace to be the first skater under 150 here this evening. The world record in this distance, a 1:41.04.
Let's see how much time he's lost at the bell. Howe a 28.28, Meilleur a 27.9. So Meilleur closing the gap. Howe maybe going out a bit too quick, but both of them still negative splitting. Antoine Roger, who still finished strong.
Connor Howe getting a good draft on that backstretch as Meilleur came out of that inner corner fast. Meilleur coming around the outside. This is going to be a close finish.
Looks like Howe has just got enough left in the tank, keeping Meilleur at bay, but it's going to be close. Howe reaches at the line, 1:48.54, 1:48.59, 2 fastest times, separated by 5 hundredths of a second.
And 2 personal bests. Connor Howe just narrowly beating his mark by a few tenths of a second. Hayden Meilleur beating his personal best by 2 seconds. That's his first time under 150 in the 1,500 meter. What a race from the 2 gentlemen.
Perfect time to do it when the most attention is being spent at a national championships.
Hayden Meilleur, junior skater. Keep an eye on him this season as we move forwards towards the Canadian Junior Championships and the World Junior Championships.
Good round of applause for both of those skaters, appreciating a fine race with not much in it. Coming on to pair number 5 of 10, both out of Ontario, Jake Weidman and Dan Carruthers.
So have a look at these 2 gentlemen on the line. You see behind them up on the wall, large banner of Cindy Clausen, who was recently welcomed to the Olympic Oval Wall of Champions. Obviously, 5-time gold medalist at the 5-time Olympic medalist at the Torino Games.
Clean start, Carruthers using that down start. Weidman, who is 21 years of age. Carruthers, a little bit more experience. He is 26 in April. Carruthers with a 1:47.75 personal best, 1:47.64 for Weidman. So another very close race, a possibility here, and there's not much separating them at 300 meters. 23.94, 24.01 for Weidman, a little bit behind Carruthers.
Absolutely. Dan Carruthers a 500 and 1,000 meter specialist. So if Jake Weidman is on pace with Dan Carruthers in the early portions of this race, he often has a stronger finish, so means he's on a good race.
Carruthers going a little bit wide there, still on pace and going stride for stride even after just about 200ths of a second separating them with 2 laps to go.
Close race between these two skaters, but Weidman coming around that outer lane will get a bit of a draft on this backstretch. Every little bit counts.
We've seen how helpful that's been to a number of races. You look at a guy like in the 500, William Dutton used a great draft to skate to second place last night. Jake Weidman leading this one through 27:59 the lap time. He goes under Howe's time, 28:47 the lap time for Carruthers.
It all rests on the last lap here of this 1,500 meter. This is the hardest part of the race. The legs are screaming, the lungs are burning.
Weidman, can he keep up that speed, keep his gap up? Carruthers wanting to chase him down. It's Weidman leading the way into the straightaway, drops both arms down. He is charging to the line. Carruthers struggling a little bit, but it's Weidman taking this one, 1:47.66. He goes fastest, 1:50.32 for Carruthers.
Jake Weidman misses his personal best by 200ths of a second. Great race from him.
That is the halfway mark. And there's the leaderboard right now. Weidman's 1:47.66, the time to beat at the moment. Connor Howe and Hayden Mayur rounding out the top 3 with just literally the blink of an eye between them. Next up on the track, Sam Deckert and Jesse Neufeld from Alberta and Manitoba, respectively.
This is the Canadian Single Distance Championships, but it is also the 2018 Long Track Team Selections. In order to make the team, skaters must achieve a time standard of 1:44.14. They must have skated that time within the last calendar year. Currently, only 2 Canadian skaters have achieved that mark. That's Vincent Dehaep and Denny Morrison, but expect the rest of them to be chasing that time.
It's a clean getaway. Deckert yesterday in the 500 meters put up a personal best of 35.61. He finished 11th in that race. Here he is against Neufeld. Personal best in the 1500, 1:47.23.
These two skaters having breakout seasons last year, looking to continue those performances.
Both of them go under Weidman's time, 23.46, 23.73 for Neufeld, as they have the fastest 2 opening 300 meters. Actually, Neufeld's is the 3rd fastest, but it's underneath of Weidman's time.
Watch the skaters. They're looking for long, smooth, strong strides on the straightaway.
Looks like it's Neufeld with a little bit of an advantage. His lap time, 25.68, 26.04 for Deckert. Now they sit 1-2. Both of them still under the time set by Jake Weidman.
Watch out, here comes Sam Deckert. That 26.0 is an extremely fast lap time. Let's see if he can follow it up with a second super fast time. Looking to keep this lap under 28 seconds.
Looks like it is Deckert with a little bit of a lead. His lap time this time, 27.64, 27.95 for Neufeld. Still both under Weidman's time.
Right on pace, 1.5 second drop off between his first and second lap. Sam Deckert will move to the outer lane.
Both of their personal bests within 0.08 of a second with each other. Could be another drag race to the finish between 2 evenly matched skaters. It looks like Neufeld is a little bit off the pace. Deckert leading the way. Neufeld trying to chase him down inside of 50 meters. The pain is on the face. He comes to the line, 1:47.83, 1:48.39. They slip behind Weidman into second and third.
Great race from both skaters. Sam Deckert just missing his personal best. Good battle right to the end. They kept those legs moving in the last lap.
Quick look at the leaderboard as we get set up for the next pair, and 2 guys who are kind of familiar with each other. They're teammates on the team pursuit. They raced each other in the 5K a couple nights ago. It's a youngster, Benjamin Donnelly and Ted-Jan Blumen.
Absolutely. Ben Donnelly, former world junior champion. He's followed up that achievement with a great season last year competing on the World Cup circuit and joining the team pursuit team.
Donnelly a personal best of 1:45.10. He set it just over a month ago in early December. Time like that would put him top right now, but we've seen these guys with their long track prowess a couple days ago. I guess they'll have a similar strategy of skating into this race and finishing with very consistent times.
Absolutely. Although they do need to pick up a lot of speed in the first half of the race. So Ben Donnelly, who is more of a middle distance skater than Ted-Jan Blumen, will rocket out to an early lead here in the first 300 meters. He's looking for a low 24-second opener.
Much faster strides from Donnelly through 200 meters. 23:82, 24:69 for Blumen.
That's what Ben Donnelly needed, just under 24 seconds on the opener. The skaters now entering the corner. Watch Ted-Jan Blumen. He will finish strong. He's come around with 2 laps to go.
26:22 the laps, 26:62 for Blumen. So Donnelly pulling out another 0.4 of a second. He's still under Weidman's time. Donnelly is just 20 years old. He's out of Oshawa. Blumen, of course, came over to Canada from the Netherlands after the Sochi Olympics and has really never looked back.
No, definitely raising the bar for Canada's long distance team.
The lap time there, 27:06. There you go. Blumen now under Donnelly's time. Donnelly still ahead of Weidman by, yes, it is still Weidman by 95 hundredths, almost a full second. But watch out, waiting in the wings, coming into this one. Blumen down the final stretch.
As expected, both skaters keeping their lap times very close from the first to second lap. Ted-Jan Blumen losing less than half a second, and he comes on strong to the line.
Look at that. Ted-Jan Blumen finishing strong, ahead now by 2 seconds, 27.3, a second and a half faster than Donnelly, who still goes second fastest.
We have 2 new names on the top of the leaderboard. Ted-Jan Blumen, the guy to beat, 1:45.48. Fantastic race from Ted-Jan Blumen, who has had some bad luck in this distance over the past few years at the Canadian trials. The Fall World Cup trials, he was stuck in a crossover issue and had to stand up and give way to his pair, so he will be happy with this redemption.
Nice ovation from the fans for that one. They just saw a pretty good race and they know it. Now up on the track, Tyson Langlar from Manitoba, Daniel Dubreuil from Quebec.
Blumen's first 2 laps were within half a second of each other.
Clean getaway from the 2. Dubreuil, a 1,500-meter personal best time of 1:47. He set that in October. Langlar, meanwhile, 1:46.70. So, again, 2 guys very evenly matched in this one.
Absolutely. Tyson Langlar, very young skater. He's still a junior this year. He had a very good performance at last year's World Junior Championships.
Both of them under the time set by Blumen, but as we know, Blumen just exploded down in that last lap. 23.68 for Dubreuil. Langlar a 24.21 in the opening 300 meters.
Dubreuil getting a great draft on that backstretch. That will help his energy levels near the end of the race.
It's Dubreuil now with an advantage as he comes up to complete his first full lap. That lap time, 26.18. He's a second and a half ahead of Blumen, but there's always that asterisk, 26.27 for Langlar, because I say the asterisk because watch what Blumen did at the end. Let's see if these guys can just hang on.
Unlikely that these 2 gentlemen will be able to match the pace at the end of the race from Ted-Jan Blumen. So they just have to hope they banked enough time early on
There's the bell. Let's see the lap time. Dubois and Langlar have closed right up. 27.89, 27.77 as Langlar slips behind Blumen's time. Dubois hanging on by a thread. Oh, and down goes Dubois.
Daniel Dubois, who was on a great race, he was well set up for a big draft on that backstretch. Langlar will now finish on his own. Langlar chasing a personal best. His personal time to beat.
It's 146.70. I believe he crossed at the line 148.24. Good enough for 5th place.
After an unfortunate fall down the straightaway from Daniel Dubois, he's slow to get up, but he looks okay.
It's like the blade just got caught behind his back leg as he was trying to swing it out.
He just caught a bad edge. So it looks like we will have a brief delay for ice repair as they make sure everything is safe for the next race.
Let's take another look at that. Watch the left leg right there.
That's right, he hooked his ankle. All Canadian skaters required to wear cut-proof material around their ankles to protect their tendons from situations like that.
Looks like he is okay to go. Next up is a name you might have heard. First, Antoine Gélina-Beaulieu from Quebec, and then from Fort St. John, British Columbia, Denny Morrison, who has been pretty good in this event.
That you could say so. Denny Morrison, the former world record holder in this distance. His personal best, a 142.13. That was the world record a number of years ago.
Clean start for the two as they do their first 300 meters to get to that first time check. Gélina-Beaulieu, 1992, so he's 25 years old.
Gélina-Beaulieu is on an amazing season. He skated big personal best at the Fall World Cup trials, qualifying for the team.
There's that first split, 24.03, 24.26 for Morrison. Not the fastest openers, but it is still ahead of Blumen.
Denny Morrison, Olympic medalist in this distance 4 years ago in Sochi.
Morrison still chasing down Gélina-Beaulieu as they complete their first full lap. There is a little grimace on Gélina-Beaulieu's face. I caught that. 25.49, 25.53 for Morrison. Very similar lap times there as they put a little more in the bank on Blumen.
Great times for both skaters. Gélina-Beaulieu will get a little bit of a draft on that backstretch. That'll help him the latter portion of the race, but watch out. Morrison is very strong.
Look at that gap. Not much there. They come to the bell. Gélina-Beaulieu hanging on by a thread. 26.65 for Gélina-Beaulieu. Morrison taking more out. 26.43.
They're neck and neck with 400 to go. Morrison has Gélina-Beaulieu in his sights down that backstretch. Big draft.
Look at that. Nearly the entire backstretch closed up behind. Sat in the wings. We'll see how much energy he saved. Denny Morrison eyeing another spot here. He pulls away down the stretch. Waited in the wings until the end. Morrison to the line. 144.13. 145.24 for Gélina-Beaulieu. 1-2 at the moment.
What a race from Denny Morrison. Will that be good enough to take the Canadian Championship? There's one pair remaining. Gélina-Beaulieu currently sitting second with that 145.24. He missed the SSC time standard to make the 2018 long track team. That time standard, a 144.14. Currently only Vincent Dehaet and Denny Morrison have achieved that.
Dehaet likes the 1,000 meters.
So we get a good round of applause for Denny Morrison as he skates by the crowd.
Just looking, the fastest 1,500 meter time in the world so far this year is held by Denny Yushkov from Russia with a 141.02. There is the final pair, Vincent D'Etre and David Larue. 1:44.13. That's the 17th fastest time in the world this year.
David Larue, young skater, new to long track speed skating. He only started speed skating last season on the 400-meter track.
D'Etre, two-sport star. He's also pretty good track cyclist as well. When he won the 1,000 meters here 4 years ago to qualify for the Sochi Olympics, he was also at the time the winner of the Kilo in track cycling, which is a 1 kilometer time trial. So a little bit of symmetry there where 1,000 meters it seems to be his thing. 23.42 opening for D'Etre, 23.52 for Larue.
Look at that opener, very quick. 3/4 of a second up on Morrison through 300 meters. Morrison had a strong finish though. D'Etre and Larue will have to pull something out of their legs.
25.39 lap time for D'Etre, 25.66 for Larue. Both of them still ahead of Morrison's time, who really did come on late. That's a good little draft though there for D'Etre.
Absolutely, David Larue doing a good job moving straight to the outer lane to try and take away that draft from Vincent D'Etre.
Larue, personal best time of 1:44.37. Look at that gap. No, now D'Etre has pulled out. He still is now a second ahead of Morrison's time, 26.37, 27.12 for Larue. Let's see if D'Etre can contain that speed, keep it consistent, and just he's eyeing Morrison's 1:44.13.
That's the question now as he finishes on the outer. Is that second enough bank time to last this 400 meters? Morrison finished strong.
D'Etre, the 1,000-meter specialist. Can he add 1,500-meter national champion to his resume? Yes, he does. 1:43.44, hand in the air. That one is Vincent D'Etre.
David Larue finishes up with a 1:45.87. It's a good race from him.
Certainly happy with that one, a 1:43.44.
And there is your final leaderboard. Vincent D'Etre took the crown. 1:43.44 was the top time today. Pulling up second, Denny Morrison, 1:44.13. Antoine Gélina-Beaulieu will take home bronze.
That time, Vincent D'Etre, 1:43.44, the 11th fastest time in the world, 0.3 of a second off his best. So that concludes the men's 1,500. Vincent D'Etre is your Canadian national champion in this distance. Denny Morrison second, Antoine Gélina-Beaulieu third. We get a day off tomorrow, but we will be back on Monday with a couple of 1,000-meter races as we're back to the sprints. So on behalf of Leo Landry and myself, Gavin Day, have a good night, everybody, and hopefully you can join us soon.
Okay, I'll announce you. Could I have your attention, please? At this time, we would like to welcome back the Edmonton Handbeat team, here to do a special drum performance in recognition of the upcoming 2018 Olympic Winter Games taking place in Pyeongchang, South Korea. After that, we will do the medal presentation, so please stay with us. Thank you all for bearing with us tonight. It's a grueling race, and the men needed a little time to recover. Today, once again, we are lucky enough to have Katrina LeMay-Doan here to present the medals to the men. She's a two-time Olympic gold medal, speed skating legend, and Olympic Oval ambassador. Thank you, Katrina, for being here with us. Winning the bronze medal with a time of 1:45.24, Antoine Jelena-Beaulieu. Antoine. Winning the silver medal with a time of 1:44.13, Denny Morrison. And winning the gold medal in the 1500 meters with a time of 1:43.44, Vincent Detre. Congratulations, félicitations. And if you guys just shift a little that way, you're gonna come in. Okay, just look for Phil, and if he says to move, then move. Phil, are we good? Okay. And now a quick interview with the winner, Vincent Detre.
You can sit down too.
Like I said, this is a grueling race, and Vince wants to sit, so we're going to do it. Congratulations, Vincent.
Thank you.
So now you've qualified provisionally for the Olympic team in the 1500 meters. How are you feeling?
Well, right now I'm feeling pretty tired, but overall I'm good.
In this race, the 1500 meters, you've been increasingly better through the years. How do you think you're doing that, and are you ready for the games in this event?
I think improving so far in the last few years has been a big part to the team that I get to train with, with two world records, and of course Denny, one of the best 1500 meter skaters there was. So I mean, I'm being pushed all the time, and I owe it to my teammates for that. And as far as the games go, I guess we'll have to wait.
Please, everyone, join me in congratulating Vince again. Congratulations, Vince. Now you can go rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, thank you so much for coming to the Olympic Oval for the 2018 long track team selections. Action resumes on Monday at 5 p.m. Hope to see you then. Thank you.